up an apple, there would be no more mukbang videos, or I don't know if what I was doing is actually considered mukbang videos, but I don't plan on making it a regular thing eating. So that ended uh, Friday. Yesterday I didn't do one of those. Um, Not to say I might not eat again during a live, but it won't be. That's not going to be my shtick. If that's what you're thinking, that doesn't count. But in any case, I wanted to do a live stream completely divorced from politics. I think we've had enough of that for the weekend, right? Between Friday and Saturday, and I think we had enough of that. So, on a topic completely unrelated to politics, and I don't want to talk about politics in this live stream. So, if people bring up questions about that, I'm just going to defer to another day. Now, I'll answer a question outside of politics if it's not. I mean, about politics if you drop a cash app. What's up, Mahal? I wasn't sure if you're gonna make it. So this is actually Mrs. Contrarian's suggestion, guys. Um, we're talking about traveling again. So in this topic about traveling, I'm asking, where do you guys prefer to stay when you travel? Do you get the 4-star, 5-star hotels, the luxury hotel sort of thing, or do you just pick the cheapest things so that you can keep it moving? Um, if you're more of like a backpacker type traveler or an adventurous traveler, maybe you want to just stay at like a hostel or maybe one of the cheap hotels. And there's different types of cheap hotels, of course. Or also there's some people might choose Airbnb. Uh, there's a uh, an app related to Airbnb, but that caters to like black travelers. I forgot what it's called, but a friend of mine, her one of her friends actually invented it, so I don't remember what it's called. But if you're familiar with that, I'm gonna just have that fall under Airbnb as well. So if you're more the Airbnb type of person where you want a more um, intimate style housing where you can have guests and it be more like a live-in situation. And under that, I'll also include like the condos that some people rent while they're abroad, either overseas or wherever they're going. I would think I would think maybe Airbnb. I mean, condos would fall under that. And Mrs. Contrarian is moderating, so people with the nonsense, that's going to be gone. Mrs. Contrarian doesn't put up with idiot Gen Z people either. So, um, like I said, that's the topic for the day. Where do you guys choose to stay where you travel? Do you like do you go for the luxurious hotels and resorts, or do you like the cheaper hostels, hotels, or do you do the Airbnb sort of thing? What's up, Sergeant? Um, I'll say so. I'll tell you my what I do. Like Mrs. Contrarian and I, we don't really go for the luxurious hotels and resorts. We usually just do the cheap hotels or whatever because the whole purpose of traveling is like to get out and travel. Like some people when they go overseas, they spend their whole times at the resorts. I think that's a waste of time. Now I can see if you go into somewhere like Jamaica, because Jamaica isn't very safe. So pretty much most people just stay at the resort the whole time. However, to me, that's just a waste of a. I'm not going overseas if it's so unsafe that I pretty much just have to stay at the resort the whole time. But that's just my preference. Sergeant says usually a hotel, to be honest, but I did travel in an RV for a few years. Oh, that's kind of cool. Where was that? That was here in the States, right? I don't think it's possible, but it'd be nice if someone could do like a RV or something like that, all the way up, all the way up North and South America. There's a I forgot what they call that route, but some of you might remember. So there's a route that goes from I believe like all the way from Argentina to Alaska, and I forgot what it's called, but a few people have traveled that entire route, and I can't remember what it's called, but that would be something really cool to do. There's also one that crosses Asia and Africa. Like I think it starts in like South or Central Africa, winds itself through the Middle East and Central Asia, all the way up into like Northwest Europe. And I was like, yeah, that route is going to ensure death, so I'm not going to do that. Um, but yeah, there's a similar type of thing on the other hemisphere as well. Sergeant says yes in the states from D.C. to California up the northern route, back through southern states to Florida and back to D.C. That's kind of cool. I've already said a few times before that like before I go back overseas permanently, I would like to like travel to the flyover states, which means like actually like drive into those places, not fly into them. Like I like to like kind of drive into like those places where most people don't really go unless they already live in that area. You know, like places like Montana, Wyoming, North Dakota, South Dakota, Idaho, places like that, and also here on in the closer to home, all across like parts of Appalachia that people don't really go to, like places in like Tennessee, Kentucky. I've been to West Virginia, so not missing anything there. But like, yeah, I guess Kentucky, Tennessee, places like that. Yes, that's what it's called. Thank you, the Pan American Highway. Thank you, Annihilator. Do you think it's actually traversable without getting into like problems? I don't think. I think once you're out of Latin America, you're safe. But as parts of Latin America, I'm not sure that you maybe you might not be able to make it through. Probably going to need to carry some weapons and some emergency cash on you to make it through the Pan American Highway. Chris says I just got back from holiday in the States. It was so weird driving on the left side. In New Zealand, we drive on the right. Well, we think it's weird on the other opposite side, though, Chris. Sergeant says Montana is cool, east is flat, west is mountainous. Yeah, I definitely want to see it for the landscape. Just meet locals. Hopefully, hit a reservation. Um, the fact that you have to ask, can you ask a joke? No, you can't. Mrs. Contrarian, that guy's a troll. Anyway, so like I said, Mrs. Contrarian and I don't prefer expensive resorts and hotels for the very purpose that we don't plan on staying there that long. Um, like I said, most of the places that are like really nice resorts are places where usually you're gonna spend the bulk of your time at the resort. I, for my like I said, I for my own my out of my own interest, I'm not going somewhere overseas just to stay at a resort the whole time. That kind of defeats the purpose of going there. I can just stay at a really nice hotel where I live. Like, I can go to a 5-star hotel somewhere where I live, or I can just travel to another state, or when I'm overseas in the Philippines, I can just go somewhere nice and stay in the Philippines at a hotel if I want to. But the whole purpose of flying, flying, overseas is to, see this other culture. I would think. But like I said, that's why I've never really been into the whole visit Jamaica and all that sort of stuff because most of Jamaica is not accessible to foreigners. Like most people go to what um, Montego Bay, Negro, what's it called, Negro Beach or whatever. Some people go to Kingston, but even the people who go to Kingston probably it's probably very limited parts of Kingston they will go to. Like Kingston is not a nice place. So like I said, most people who go like places like Jamaica and stuff like that, they just stay at the resorts the whole time. Or some people just want to flex when they go overseas to show how much money they can spend. For what? I mean, if that's what you like to do, that's cool. I'm not I'm not in anyone's pocket. So however you choose to spend your money when you travel, that's fine. But the whole purpose of me not doing the resorts and expensive hotels is just so you know I can spend most of the time seeing sights and stuff. Sergeant says you like to experience the country rather than the American version of the resort vacationer. Yeah. What is that picture behind you? Oh, it's a military plaque of my grandfather when he commemorating his service in the Korean War. Sergeant says, "Yeah, I've unfortunately not had the chance to see much of the world yet. Maybe when I retire." Well, if you can do it before you retire, that's one of the things my grandfather told me before he died. I told him, when I started traveling and met my wife overseas and stuff like that, he was like, "Oh, that's good." He said, "Do it while you're still young." He said, "Don't wait till you get old." And he said, "Do it while you can still be young enough to have fun." So I'm guessing we're closely around the same age. So I would tell you the same thing, man. Get out there and do it now. If you have the money, just take a week, take 2 weeks, go have some fun. If you can, I mean, I understand if you can't, but it's worth it. Miss Nita says, as long as it's clean and you don't get robbed, cheap hotels, hostels are or other options are totally fine. I say, oh yeah, absolutely. I didn't even get that. That's a very good point though. You don't want to stay somewhere where it's unsafe or it's unhygienic. I'll say this: even the good hotels can be uncleanly. I'll say that much. Like, if you ever seen those exposés on the news showing just how dank some of these hotels are. Like you go over with a nightlight and there's like just cum stains everywhere. There's like sometimes when stuff happens, instead of them thoroughly cleaning the room, like they'll just paint over the blood stains or whatever on the wall. Um, Yeah, I don't want to spook you in hotels, but hotels are not always the cleanest. And here's another thing. This is completely random, but I really hate hotel sheets. Like I do not ever get under the sheets in a hotel bed. They feel so cold and uncomfortable. Like I need something soft. I need like a I'll I'll one thing I might do when I go to a hotel is I might take my thermal blanket with me just so I can have that something comfortable underneath me when I sleep. I can't sleep on those cold hotel sheets. I hate those. Dan says, "Well, thank your grandfather for his service." Well, I appreciate it. He passed away though when I was an infant, so I never had the ability to speak with him. John Shaw says the wood paneling is fire, my dude. It's not my place though, but I appreciate it. This is my grandmother's place. Very old school. This is something probably stemming all the way back from the '80s when she first got this hotel. I mean this house, or it's from the early '90s because I think she did have some remodeling done. Well, she's had remodeling done several times in the house, but I don't think these walls were originally wood paneling. I think they were originally just like drywall, like most walls. Oh, Sergeant says I'm 30. Okay, no, so you are much younger than me. But yeah, we're about 30, so that's when I think most. That's when we, I think, officially kind of become men is at 30. Um, yeah, man. If you can take a week or two, do some exploring like every year. Take some of that PTO and go travel. Don't wait till you retire. Like the I know that's when a lot of people have more disposable income and usually, more time, but you're also less physically capable than you are as you are now to have fun while you're actually traveling, where you can actually go out and do stuff and have fun and, sow your royal oats. no one no one wants to be that guy sowing his royal oats at 65. They just look creepy. Danny says I'm 21 and I've heard that older people have told me that when you get older, time goes by quicker and you start to not have time to do any hobbies or personal things. Mm, it's all about time management. Like whether you're young or old, if you don't manage your time properly, yes, time can slip by. I've poorly managed time on many things. If something is important to you, make the time for it. And if you don't know how to do so, then get in touch with someone who can help you do so. Like there are people like counselors and stuff like that. They can help people better manage their time or get fulfill different goals and objectives. Um, it doesn't even have to be like a licensed practicing behavioral therapist, but something along the lines of like I don't know, like a life coach or whatever. But a lot of older people are just younger people who didn't do well by themselves. So I don't know. Danny says currently I'm in college, almost about to be done, but thought of being completely free to do whatever is just overwhelming. That's because you need to be tethered to something that you actually want to do. You need to pick a lane and stick with it. Mrs. Contrarian says to Miss Needle that same, as long as I have a comfy bed and it's clean and secure, I'm all good. I only stay there to sleep at night, bathe, and leave my backpack during the day. I don't even care for free breakfast. See, I disagree with Mrs. Contrarian right there. I love the free breakfast. The inter Yeah, the continental breakfast is the bomb. I don't, you know, Mahal, you don't remember how good the continental breakfast was in Thailand? And when we were in Bangkok, man, that continental breakfast was the bomb. Shoot, I love man, I love the free breakfast. That's the best. Well, that's one of the best parts of the hotel is the free breakfast in the morning. Now, if I was to splurge on anything when it comes to a hotel, is choosing. The only thing I would splurge on for a hotel would be to try to find a hotel with a gym. Like usually, when we've picked cheap hotels, that's the only problem is they didn't have gyms. So, um, I think going forward, I'm gonna stay at places. If I'm gonna be at a place longer than several days, then I'm gonna pick a place that has a hotel. I mean, that has a gym in the hotel. That's the only thing I would splurge on. But again, it doesn't have to be a 4 or 5 star hotel to have a small gym in there. Like it'll just all you need is like 2 treadmills and a Nautilus station, and you can call it a gym. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it. Miss Needle says to Danny, "Well, as long as you're healthy, you will figure out something. It's a big blessing to have this freedom. It's a freedom and it's a curse. Like I said, he needs to pick a lane. Like he should be if he's 21 right now, he should be already looking at the careers within his major. And if he hasn't, he should be doing a um, what do you call it? Sorry, I'm having a mind meld here. um, what do you call the free work that they get people to do? It'll come to me later. But anyway, he needs to pick a lane, and whatever his major is, need to be looking at careers within that and look at that trajectory, what he needs to do to get into those fields. To be completely wide open or free is not really a good thing because most other people his age are going to be already focused and know where they're going and are already preparing for it. So if he's just going to go to grad school, then you need to prepare for that. But if he's going directly into the working world, then like I said, he needs to be preparing for that and picking something specific so that he can be prepared for it. Because most of these places don't want people just fresh out of college with no work experience. So, and Miss Nia says, "Yeah, that's the spirit to Mrs. Contrarian." Danny says, "Thanks, and I'm fortunate to be healthy to Miss Needle." Uh, he says, "What is your opinion on the younger generation, and do you believe that we are heading in the right direction?" Um, Not really, but I don't want to come off as one of these typical middle-aged curmudgeons. So here's the thing: there's some things I do like about Gen Z, but there's a lot of things I think are problematic about your generation. I mean, every generation has its good and bad with it. The bad that I see with you guys, and sometimes it is exaggerated. Besides that, it seemed like it's one of those things that's blamed on every younger generation. So, you know, so it should always be taken with a grain of salt. But it's like, um, one thing that so in psychology, we've been observing something called the reverse Flynn effect. To know what the reverse Flynn effect, I have to explain the Flynn effect. So the Flynn effect was an observation that people seem to each generation seem better at performing the IQ test than previous generations, and because of that, um, this psychometrist would have to keep renormalizing the IQ test for each successive generation to keep them within that Gaussian curve, that normal distribution where the majority of people fall in the center. Um, but people wanted to understand what was the need for renormalizing, why were people performing better at these tests. And originally it was thought that maybe each generation is getting smarter than the previous generation, but we realized that wasn't actually the case. It was just better. It just happened that more education was focused on abstract reasoning than in the past, so that people were able to perform better on these IQ tests, and that a lot of the higher tier jobs expected people to have more abstract thinking skills. However, by the turn of the 90s, we saw that Flynn effect starting to plateau, and then it actually reversed, where people in the newer generations were actually starting to perform worse on the IQ test than previous generations. Which cynically some were saying, "Oh, now they just getting dumber," but obviously that's not it. That's well, we don't. Hopefully, that's not the case. More than likely, um, it's showing problems in our education. And I mean, and this kind of matches what a lot of people have been saying, that public education is more worried about identity politics than educating younger people, or more worried about teaching people how to perform well on standardized tests and actually giving them the the skills to perform well on those tests, um, regardless of the type of test that it is. In any case, so we seeing a reverse Flynn effect, which is showing that people nowadays are worse at reasoning than previous generations. And we're seeing within males today lower testosterone levels than in previous generations. This is why we are seeing them more accepting of being more effeminate than in the past. You have rappers nowadays wearing purses and painting their fingernails. This would not have flown in the 90s. The, during the Biggie Tupac era, people would not have been getting away with wearing purses and painting their nails and trying to call themselves gangster. Drake. But in any case, yeah. Um, so those are my cynical views on the younger generation. However, I do see you guys more involved in in things that I cared about when I was a younger person as well. Like climate change and all that sort of stuff. Although some people are taking it, like I said, some people are taking it too far. But as far as, do I think you guys are heading in the right direction? I'm not sure, because right now a lot of us see this as the end times of Rome. Like, um, there have been books shown that, like, usually at the end of a empire, this is when people started becoming more concerned with petty things like identity politics and stuff like that. So, and also you will see a difference in the art, whereas in times of like of a empire like coming into its own, you will see more depictions of manliness and stuff like that in the art. But and as these empires started to fold, you started seeing depictions of more effeminate men. So ties back into what I just said a moment ago. But yeah, I'm not sure if you guys are headed in the right direction. Some of you are. Some of you are. But just be mindful of that. I know that's a bit of rambling and completely off topic, but you asked it in good faith, so I think it was worth answering. Whatever you're doing, like I said, you're still in college. You should pick a lane for where you want to be. You don't want to just get out there and just be like, "Hey, I'm out here. What do I do now?" No, you need to be looking at careers. If you haven't already, I'm assuming you have, but you need to like get super focused on that, because like I said, there's people right now your age just doing that and much more. So um, just get laser focused on something that's within your field, and do that. And the word I was looking for earlier is our internships. If you have not done an internship, you need to be doing an internship right now. And usually the best internships are the unpaid internships, because those usually the big name firms tend to want people who who are willing to work for free. Now there's some um, big name companies and firms that will do paid internships like Google and stuff like that. But by and large, most of them want to offer free internships, but in doing so, you get to pad your resume with work experience coming out of college, and those places may offer you a job themselves when you graduate. So, if you haven't done so already, unpaid internship, get you need to do an internship, whether it's paid or unpaid. Miss Nina says, Danny, yeah, you know it can change quickly. You never know. So make use of each day. Um, know what matters. Mrs. Katrina says the free breakfast there was good, but I would gladly go out and try the local breakfast. Well, okay, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But I'm late. But Mahal, I'm lazy. Like in the morning, I don't want to go anywhere for breakfast. I don't even eat breakfast like that. But since it's free, I can just go downstairs. It's already there. I can just grab it. I don't have to cook it. I don't have to cook it. I don't have to drive to get it. I can just simply walk out of the hotel room, go downstairs, and hey, look, there's bacon, there's donuts, there's there's crepes, there's coffee, there's cereal. Nothing for me. Nothing beats that continental breakfast. I love that. Mrs. Needle says Mrs. Contrarian local boyfriend usually is much better. Local breakfast. I thought she said local boyfriend. Sorry about that. Local breakfast is usually much better, anyways. Yeah, but to see, I don't know. Maybe this is a female thing because you two are saying local breakfast. That's cool, but you actually have to go out to get it. The continental breakfast, like I said, all I have to do is literally just go downstairs to the conference room, and the food is right there, already prepared. I just make a plate. Danny says, I appreciate the Miss Needle. Um, I try to make the best of it. Currently, I'm trying to find internships to start mechanical engineering. Oh, yeah. Okay, good, good. So you are doing internship, looking for internships, rather. Jackie, say what now? All right, guys, mind your manners. We got ladies in in the chat. Miss Nita says, "You're welcome, Danny. I hope you find a place where you're treated fairly and you can build on that step by step." Darian Paradise says, "Let me join you on the game." Speaking of why am I watching sumo competition? I don't know why I have like this on. So let me get back to the comments. Danny says, "Thank you, Miss Nita. I appreciate that, and I hope that everything is going smoothly for you." Um, Danny says, "I appreciate your honest opinion on my question and the wisdom. I always appreciate it when older people can share their wisdom." Uh, Miss Nita says, "Thank you and well. My life is not the usual kind, so I don't know how to answer that with going smoothly. That's never been my thing, but I'm still alive, so that's good." Miss Nia said, "Local boyfriend. I better not use abbreviations anymore." No, that was my fault. Like, because usually when I see BF, that you know, online, usually that stands for like boyfriend. But I forgot that you were just speaking in context to Mrs. Contrarian talking about breakfast. So, but yeah. So if any other young people are watching, like I said, guys, do those. If you're in college, make sure you're doing an internship. Because like I said, other students in other countries have a leg up on you, because in other countries the internship is actually a a part of getting the diploma. Like in the Philippines, you have to do the internship to get them to finish your degree. Whereas here, internships are completely optional. But if you're going into the working world, you need to do those internships because most of these places at on and for entry level jobs want you to have work experience, which doesn't make any sense. Like, why do you need to have work experience for an entry level job? That doesn't make sense to me. That's like that's like you start in martial arts for the first time and they require you to already know how to fight. Like it's like what? That's what I'm coming here for. So Danny says, "LOL, yeah, that made me laugh." And you're welcome, Miss Needle. And I hope that your life heads in a better direction. I truly wish that everyone could live great, fulfilling lives. Yeah. So, yeah, mechanical engineering, you're already headed in a good direction. Um, but yeah, make sure you find a good internship before you graduate. Because, like I said, it might actually lead to a lucrative job once you finish. Danny says, and yes, I agree. I believe that the education system in the USA is severely lacking. Yeah, if I were to have a kid here, Danny, I would definitely put them in either a private school or a charter school. I wouldn't put them through the public education system. Um, like I said, I think they're too worried about things that have nothing to do with actually educating students. So, and it's not all their fault. It's because of it's usually tied with political matters and stuff like that. But I don't need people playing politics with my kids' minds. So I just need them to to learn. So, but in any case, guys, back to the hotels. So let me give some examples of some of the hotels we stayed at. So Mrs. Contrarian and I were just before I did the live stream, I did a late night run, and we had a debate whether the place we stayed in Bali was a homestay or not. And I was telling her, I was like, well, the name of it literally it literally says it's a homestay, and she was like, yeah, but that was more like like a hotel, not really like a cheap homestay. But she was saying homestays are different in the Philippines, and I haven't done that there in the Philippines, so I wouldn't know. But the homestay in Bali was nice. Like it was more, it was more of a resort. Like we had the upstairs, we had an upper level suite, um, and the whole thing was to ourselves. Like it was like a little loft. The first night we was there, actually, I slept outside because my mother was there with us, but her room wasn't going to be ready until the morning, so she just stayed in our place, and so they stayed in the bedroom, and I slept outside under the stars. It was just that nice out. Um, and then like in the morning, they was like, "Hey, breakfast is ready," and like it's not like it wasn't like a continental breakfast. Like they actually intimately cook for you there. So maybe that's not your typical homestay, but it was really nice. So that kind of spoiled me because now I'm thinking I was thinking all homestays were like that. Miss Nina says, Danny, thank you. I truly appreciate that. Very kind of you. And yeah, I think everyone has a purpose. It really depends on perspective and experience. If you find your life fulfilling, sometimes it's not the things you think about would make life great, but learn along the way what you truly value. You know. Okay. Good. Good words. Um, but yeah. Back to the hotel situation. So there was that, and then like the ones I've stayed at here in the United States are usually like cheaper hotels that our family could afford. Um, I'm trying to think if I've even ever stayed at like a really luxurious hotel or resort. I don't. I don't think so. I, but yeah, I enjoyed the one in Thailand. The only thing I like about the one in Thailand, we had no view. Like our view was literally like a building across from us, where it was some little badass kids staring into our room. So we just kept the curtain shut the whole time. And my friend, when he went to Thailand last year, I think he stayed in Pattaya most of the time, and he said his hotel was crap too. But when he showed me how his hotel looked, I was like, that doesn't look bad at all. And he was just like, oh, it's just no view. And I was like, well, I hate to spoil it for you, but a lot of those places in Thailand don't have a good view outside the hotels. So he was like, oh, okay. Mr. Contrarian says, home stays, you get the most basic service here in the Philippines. But that's what I'm saying. I don't know what. So all right, when I come back, let's stay at a home stay so you can show me what you mean because I don't know what you mean. Are they grimy? Are they clean? At least because that's the only thing I'd be worried about is that it's not clean. Um, Miss Nita says camping is actually a great option too, depending on the wildlife and the spot you stay. That might be a whole different live stream, but yeah, we went camping as well. Oh yeah, and you preaching to the choir. Mrs. Contrarian is, uh, she's basically Dora the Explorer. Like you guys, if you guys haven't seen our videos, well, her videos, I've uploaded those. It's it's a two videos of her traveling to Quezon province in the Philippines. The first part is showing um, parts of her 3 hour hike to get to this elementary school, and the second part is them actually at the elementary school where they're giving out supplies to the kids there, which is very cute. Um, but yeah, she's all about the hiking, camping life. So she even took me hiking, camping. Well, not hiking, but she took me camping. So Miss Nita says, Miss Contrarian, big yes. Danny says, have to agree with both of you. Camping is definitely a big yes. Been camping my whole life. Okay. I mean, so my only camping, so the first time I camped was like, I don't think it really counts. I was in the Cub Scouts and we camped outside in the backyard. I guess that counts for, but not really. It was safe, but it was Cub Scouts, not Boy Scouts. It was Cub Scouts. So that was my first camping experience. And then when I was in the army doing field training exercises, of course that counts. Missing Attorney says, I actually just cleaned my camping equipment this weekend because of all the mud and dirt from the recent trip. Missing says, you shouldn't mind insects and crawling creatures, though. Yeah, I mind insects and crawling creatures. As soon as I feel something, I'm paranoid that it's a spider because I remember when I was younger, they always tried to claim that a spider, especially a brown recluse, was going to bite you in your sleep and cause problems. But that's not even true because most spiders avoid people, and the things that usually do end up biting you aren't spiders. But I don't know. But yeah, I don't prefer creepy crawlies on me when I'm sleeping. Danny says apparently there's studies that show on average every person has eaten a few spiders in their sleep. So yeah, there was a study long time ago, Danny, that claimed that people swallow X amount of bugs on average when they sleep, but I'm not sure how accurate that study actually is. There's other studies that talk about the 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 I guess I don't know if it's the FDA or whoever allow a certain amount of bug parts per volume in our food. like in like say chocolate and stuff like that. Like there's a certain amountable level of it that can be in our food without it being a problem. So I don't know. Extra protein, I guess. Miss Nita says spiders aren't that bad. Just depends what kind are around. If they're not poisonous, you should be fine. I find roaches worse. Well, here's the thing. Most spiders actually are venomous. However, most spiders, um, they're what do you call these things? Those things are too small to break our skin and poison us. So that's the thing. Most spiders actually are venomous. However, most of them are too small to actually hurt us. So if that makes sense. Danny says, I agree with you, Miss Nito. I don't mind most insects, but cockroaches, especially flying ones, freak me out. Only time I've seen flying ones were like, isn't that just like in places like Texas and stuff like that? Luckily, we don't have them here. But I've seen flying cockroaches because we had to experiment with them in my biopsychology lab. We actually tethered them so we can, measure what they do with their flights, like which muscles are responsible for their flight and all that sort of weird stuff. Well, it wasn't weird, but it would probably be weird to you guys. But we were basically studying their escape behaviors and stuff like that. So first we had to observe their their escape behavior. Then we cut them up and saw what muscles were doing what. So and what nerves were attached to the parts of their brains. Spoiler alert: they have more than one brain in their body. But in any case, it was interesting. And yeah, I know they're fangs, but I was trying to think of the name for it, the pincers or whatever you call them. I forgot what you actually call them, the pincers or whatever you call their fangs. But like I said, most spiders actually are venomous. It's just that most of them are too small to actually prick our skin to poison us. So, and again, most spiders would avoid humans anyway, which kind of makes sense. If you see something like 500 times bigger than you, you would probably would avoid it as well. For instance, Galactus, like a, what we are to a spider is what Galactus would be to us. If for you nerdy people who know who Galactus is. Miss Nina says, Danny, yeah, and they can make you sick too with tuberculosis. Um, I'd rather have spiders around. They keep bugs out. Some spiders do actual math and are very smart. Yeah, this is true. So one, I don't mind spiders in the house because I know the spiders actually kill the nastier bugs that can invade houses. So that's true. Also, yes, there are some smart spiders out there. There's one spider, I forgot what it's called. What it will do is it will find uh, the dead bugs, right? And it will actually like shake them or do whatever to make it look like they're like moving around to attract the attention of of other bugs of their species to get their attention. And once the other bugs get close enough, then they'll pounce on those bugs. So they can so they so apparently spiders know how to do a weekend at Bernie's sort of thing. so they so they wiggle around like a dead ant or whatever it is. They're like, hey, what's up, guys? And then as soon as the other bugs approach, they'll kill it. Smith says they eat the bugs, I eat the spiders. Ew. So you might like it in street food in Thailand. You can get all that weird stuff. Like you can eat scorpions and stuff like that. They have scorpions. I think they I think they have some other stuff like either roaches or spiders or something. But you can find some weird street food in Bangkok. I didn't eat any of that weird stuff when we went there. I did the normal, I guess, touristy type thing. We Mrs. Contrarian and I, when we were in Bangkok, we just got pad thai, which is like the normal, like the a common street food that a lot of people get is pad thai. Goldberg says you look like a root canal. Oh, well, your mother didn't complain when I was in her mouth. So anyway, it was crickets. Did you see those when we were there? Did you see that stuff? I don't see. I don't remember seeing all that street food. Like I don't. Do you remember seeing that weird stuff? Because I don't remember seeing the weird stuff. I saw like when we were there. I just remember seeing like the normal food, like it's like the noodles and like chicken and oh and the rice with the mango. I wish we got some of that. Oh, you saw it on Khalsan Road. Yeah, they would have it on Khalsan. See, I didn't see that stuff, or maybe I did and I just forgot because it's been so many years. If you saw it, I probably did. I didn't say anything about it. Do you remember when we were on Khalsan Road? Sorry, guys. I think I was doing what Goldberg's mother was doing to me, choking. But anyway, Miss Needles is like parasites or food poison by accident. What do you Oh, Miss Needles says, did you ever get sick from street food? You or Mrs. Contrarian? No, I haven't. I don't think she did either. At least not when she was with me. Um, I'm very pick. She knows I'm very, very picky about food. That stems from the fact that when I was little, my father used to trick me and my sisters into eating weird shit. Like he was most of the guys on my father's side of the family, the older men, he and my older uncles, they hunt and they eat wild game like deer, bear, rabbit, squirrel, uh, duck, geese, um, stuff like that. But he would trick us into eating this stuff. He would say, "Oh, this is chicken," and we would eat it. It was like this isn't chicken. Like he tricked us a few times into eating squirrel and deer and stuff like that. So I'm very suspicious of anything I eat. Like I need to know where, like what it is and where it came from. So being I'm a picky with food, I'm not a foodie type person. Um, if I eat street food, it gotta it has to reach a high bar for me. So I'm definitely not eating those crickets that we saw on Calisan Road. Um, but yeah, we never got sick. And at least if she got sick, it wasn't when she was traveling with me. But yeah, I've never gotten sick from street food. And also, it's not places. There's some places I would go that I would not eat street food. Like I'm not going to eat street food, and no, I don't mean any insult to anyone, but I'm not going to eat any street food in India. I'm sorry, I'm not going to do it unless I got like, unless it was like highly rated by someone that I trust. Then I'm not. I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't eat street food in India. And also probably not in like I ate street food in Bali, but probably not in other parts of Indonesia, like Jakarta or somewhere like that. I've heard bad things about their street food too. Bali, I'll rock with because it's more touristy, and I think the food will be generally safer depending on where you are in most parts of Bali. But in other parts of Indonesia, I probably wouldn't eat there either. So Danny says the only place that is actually, I think, has the worst street food that I don't think anyone should try is those vendors in India from those videos on YouTube. That stuff looks vile. Also, you already talking about what I just mentioned. Like I said, I'm probably not going to eat street food if I go to India. I don't trust it. Mrs. Canary says, I know I pointed them out to you. Okay, so yeah, it's just been a long time. So yeah, of course you would have pointed out the crickets. Now I'm starting to think I do remember that. But yeah, I wasn't eating crickets. The only time I'm eating insects is if I was joining, is like if I was doing special forces training, where you gotta live off of what you can find when you're doing your exercises there, your your training exercises. You live off of what you can find in the field. So, but since I didn't do special forces, I'm not eating bugs. I'm sorry. You give me an MRE, give me an MRE all day. Moonlit Fern says venison and duck is good. So I'm not sure if we had this discussion, Moonlit Fern, but was it you that said I think you said if you let the deer sit for like 3 days hanging, then it takes the gaminess out of it. I don't know if that was you or someone else, but it was during one of the live streams like a few weeks ago. Someone was saying if you let the deer hang for several days, it takes the gaminess out of it. But I do not like the taste of venison. I don't like the duck. No, duck is fine. Duck is cool. I haven't I haven't had any duck that my father's had killed. He had wild geese. He's had wild geese and wild turkey, but he didn't have duck. And the wild geese is actually different than the duck. I thought they would be the same, but they're not. But yeah, I've had duck, like at restaurants and stuff like that. Duck is cool, but I'm not sure about the. But from what I remember, the geese is not that tasty. Yeah, the geese isn't. Squirrel is horrible. Squirrel just tastes. Ugh. It's basically just eating a rat, basically. Um, the only time that venison was good when he makes it into a chili, but he mixes it also with beef and bacon in the chili, so that's not bad. But just by itself is disgusting to me because it's too gamey. But like I said, it was either you or someone else that pointed out if you let the deer sit for several days, then it takes the gaminess out of it. Mum Life 22 says, "Hey from Scotland, what's up, Mum Life?" I'm only for instance, my parents tricked me too, but I ended up loving duck. No, duck is fine. I like duck to like I've the way I've described duck to people who haven't had it. I say it tastes like turkey with a lot of fat on it, if that makes sense. Because turkey doesn't have a lot of fat on it, but I was like, if you could imagine turkey with a lot of fat on it, that's what duck tastes like to me. That's why I want to. That's why I haven't tried it yet, but I want to try some turducken, and I want to. If I do get some turducken, I want Mrs. Contrarian to try it too. Mrs. Contrarian says I never got sick from any kind of food from any of my trips either. I didn't think so because you would have told me. Mrs. Contrarian says the most unusual food I tried was fried frog legs from China down here in Manila. I tried to. I can't remember if I tried frog legs or not, Mahal. Remember that all you can eat buffet that I used to go to here in Baltimore? It's called Tokyo Buffet, but they closed it last year. Um, I don't think it survived. Like I think it was struggling after the pandemic to get enough people to come back because probably a lot of people didn't trust going somewhere where everyone can just breathe over the food and stuff like that. But um, I remember they had frog legs, and I can't remember if I tried it or not. Uh, I don't think I did. I just wasn't that adventurous, but I was tempted to try it. Only for instance, high needle, and yeah, I wouldn't eat street food in India, but I've had deep fried ants and crickets in North Thailand, and it tasted like French fries. Ugh, I can't do it. Danny says, "Good night, everyone. I'm going to bed now. Take care." All right, Danny, take care, man. Oh, and if you can, if you haven't already, please give a like and subscribe. I appreciate it a lot before you go. So, in any case, guys, I don't know how does it get onto street food, but that's cool. But I guess it relates to like people's travel experience. Like, do you do the touristy thing where you kind of stay aloof from local culture and customs, or do you delve into the local culture and customs? I think I find that little happy middle place. Like I said, I like staying at hotels, but I don't. They don't have to be fancy hotels. I've never stayed at a fancy hotel. To me, it's a waste of money since I'm not going to spend most of my time in the hotel. Like the hotels to come back home to sleep and wash up and to get that nice continental breakfast in the morning. Like, and plus, I mean, I could do the continental. I eat a lot, so I can get the continental breakfast and still get local breakfast as well. But I'm gonna go soon because it's getting late, and the later it gets, the more trolls come in to the group because losers stay up late at night on because they have nothing else better to do. They should probably just end their lives honestly and do society a favor. But in any case, I haven't done hostels yet. Uh, I might try those. Like I said, my only concern with those sort of places is the cleanliness. Um, if I find them cleanly, I'll do it. But again, like when I sleep in hotel beds, generally I don't like my skin touching the sheets. Um, but another place I don't really do is the Airbnbs. I hear just too many horror stories about Airbnbs, especially overseas. I don't want to do them. And plus, I don't want to travel just to be in someone else's house. That just no. Like I'd rather be in a hotel. I don't want to be in someone's house. Like I don't want the responsibilities of having to make up my bed and do all this sort of stuff when I'm out traveling. Like that defeats the purpose. Like I want to just get up and be about. Moonlit Furnace is condo cheaper, and yeah, I'm off topic again. Sorry, I adapted to Thai culture fast because I like to go fishing and seeing temples, learning the history. I don't like the random monkeys and spiders though. Ran- Random monkeys? That reminds me of when we were in Bali, and so we went to the monkey sanctuary forest and visited the monkeys. And my mother quickly got annoyed because they kept like trying to grab her purse and my wife's purse, and like anything they saw that was shiny, they would try to grab it thinking it's food. But the thing was, once you left the sanctuary forest, you like they could still like freely go about the that area of Ubud. The city was called Ubud in Bali, and like connected to the sanctuary forest was a place that's called Monkey Street. So they just hang out all in that area. And I remember when we were leaving, after we left the sanctuary, we were then went into our bags to get our stuff, and this a local lady there. She was like, "Guys, be careful." She's like, "The monkeys are coming." I was like, "Damn, the monkeys are coming." That sounds sinister as hell. Like, oh, the monkey. And true enough, they were like when the telephone wires like looking down. I'm like, "Damn, these monkeys are gangster." Well, yeah, I couldn't live. I can't live in a place where there's just monkeys always messing with you. Like, there are monkeys in the Philippines, but they're not within Metro Manila. You have to go out to like the provinces to to have to deal with monkeys in the Philippines. Well, for instance, fun fact for you, they call old women who are single gibbons. Is that is that an insult to the monkeys or an insult to the women? But yeah, and oh, also you're right. The condos are cheaper. For me, I would say a condo sort of fits into the Airbnb. Like if you have like if you separate into three categories, so you have your cheap hotels, hostels, and homestays right here. And then all the way on the other end, you have like your expensive hotels and resorts here. Then in the middle is like your Airbnbs and your condos. And condos are cheaper. That's actually something someone told me about a long time ago was when I was first coming to the Philippines, a friend said, "Hey man, don't rent a hotel." He said, "You can stay at a condo and it'd be much cheaper." And that's actually what I ended up doing. Miss Contrarian says, "I'll be back in a few. Something urgent came up at work." All right, guys. So she has to step out for a second. Um, but I'm not going to be on here for too long anyway because it's late. Um, and I thought this would just be a quick, fun subject to get our minds off of politics. But I haven't heard from anyone that says they actually prefer the expensive hotels yet. Like I said, I know some people prefer, like, especially older people. I think they tend to want the luxurious hotels and resorts because they'll probably spend more time in those places than traveling. And then when they do travel, they'll probably have like a tour guide, and it'll be a very manicured experience. But um, yeah, but I don't have any problem with the cheap hotels. Like the point of me traveling is not to show how much I can floss, but just to have fun. Mula Francis, well, okay, so I went to only one expensive resort in Ko Chang. How was it though? I mean, there's nothing wrong, which means Elephant Island. Um, I don't think there's anything wrong with treating yourself every once in a while. I'm talking about people like when they travel, like they have to stay at an expensive place. Like there's nothing wrong with going to one every once in a while. But I'm talking about people who like if they travel, they can only do the 5-star hotels or the resorts. Like that's the only way they'll do it. Which is one of the reasons why you should probably travel solo so that you can do things your own way. But Elephant Island, were there elephants there? Mhm. We didn't see elephants when we went there because, well, we will next time. But I went to go to one of those places where it's an elephant sanctuary, not one of those places where they mistreat the animals. Moonlit Fern says it was not worth the price. It was ridiculously expensive and horrible service. Only the pool, massage, and the breakfast was good. And see, that's the thing. You could probably get that at a cheaper hotel if it's like if you're talking about like a pool, like massage services and breakfast. Like I said, that's the only thing I like about the hotels, like the continental breakfast. Like I said, the only thing I'll splurge on a little bit for a nicer hotel is just to have one that has a gym. But that's only if I'm gonna be there like for like a week or something like that. Then I want the ability to get up early and work out before I leave out in the morning. Sorry guys, it's getting late for me, so I'm about to call it probably within 5 minutes or so. And I can't see the number of folks locked in right now. Like sometimes it does that. It'll just show dot 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 dot. That might be. I don't know if that's because it's updating or it's a negligible amount of people in the chat room. I can't tell which is which. Moonlit Fern says yes. We rode elephants and I swam with the one I sponsored, and she was rough and fractured to my ribs. I got videos and pics I have to send you. Wait, how did she fracture your ribs? Did she step on you? Like what? What fracture? The 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 elephants we met in Bali were some of the most gentle creatures. I mean, other than while we're riding on them, they're like taking a dump. But other than that, they were know they were sweet animals, and they were pretty well trained. Like some of them were actually painting when we were there. And yeah, you did get to swim with them as too, but we didn't do that. I was like, I don't want to swim with an elephant. I'm good on that one. But we rode on them and we fed them, so that was good enough. Moonlit Fern, Moonlit Fern says no. We were in the river. She was being gentle. I love her. She just kind of did a backflop on me. Ouch. That could have went way worse though. So, mm. But that is scary. Um, but yeah, one thing I'm not gonna do is the Airbnb. Like I said, I don't like that experience. Like I don't want to travel and stay in someone else's home. That just seems that just seems a little awkward to me. And then some of them will question like whether you will have guests there or not. I mean, I'm not single anymore, so I'm not really worried about that. But if I were, like, I want the freedom to like bring whom I want to my room. And also, I don't want to have to like clean up after myself when I leave out every day. Like that's the whole that's the whole point of staying at like a hotel. Molly Fern says she picked me up and put me on head. She knew me well. She was very sweet. Okay. The elephants are quite smart too. I think that's another reason why they're so gentle with humans. They understand we're fragile. Emily Fern says I got a Ganesh tattoo on my head because I love elephants. Not religious, but again, ties mixed Hindu and Buddhism. Yeah. I a few years ago I had thought about when I returned to Thailand if I was gonna get one of the Sank Sankyat tattoos, but I don't think I am. I was kind of interested in doing it because you actually go to the temples and they give you the blessing and all the rituals before they actually tattoo you. But I don't know if I'm gonna do it. Oh, on your hand. I'm sorry. Miss Nia said, "Bullet." I just had that picture in my head of like a Ganesh on the head. Yeah, I was thinking that too. I'm like, I'm thinking he looked like Dharma from the Street Fighter 2. Well, I guess he has like the three dots, like the Shaolin, but I was picturing something like that. And Miss Nia said like on the cheek. No, 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 we're not roasting you. No, when you said head, I wasn't judging. I'm like, I was just thinking. No, when you said head, I was just thinking that's painful. That's what that's honestly what I was thinking at first. Is oh, that sounds painful. Miss Needle, she is definitely trying to roast you. But yeah, like I said, I had thought of getting a Sakyant tattoo. They'll probably. I know some temples, the monks will let you choose the body area to get it, or others they'll choose the body area, the body region for you, based on the reasons you say you want it. Like you want the blessing, say because you want to do Muay Thai and you want to defend yourself, or you want it for better luck in your life, or whatever the case may be. And based on that, they choose the design and the part of your body. But in other places, you can pick what part of the body you want to be tattooed, as long as it's above the waist, because they they think it's sacrilegious to tattoo below the waist. And pretty much most of Southeast Asia gives really great tattoos. Like, of course, Thailand because of the Sakyant tattoos. Um, Bali is known for good tattoo work. Philippines is known for good tattoo work. Uh, Japan definitely. Well, that's not Southeast Asia, but that's known for good tattoo work as well. I'm only first says no face tats ever, but I want a Japanese mural on my back. But I have a giant Calvin and Hobbes there at the moment. I mean, I guess they could go over it, but why ruin that? But yeah, definitely a lot of good Japanese tattoo art. I don't think I would get into it because I think if I did get into it, then I would just keep wanting to get extra stuff. From everyone I hear, they say that once you get one, you're gonna keep coming back for more tattoos. So I haven't started yet, and I'm in my 40s, so I don't think I'm gonna start yet. I mean, I don't think I'm just gonna start at all. Only, for instance, the monks here are not allowed to touch women. That's true, but but there are some places that will still tattoo them. Some places will, because I think at some of those temples they will tattoo the women, but I think it's probably like it may be based on the monk. I don't know. It may be based on how the monk feels about it. Emily, for instance, yeah, tattoos are addictive, and I'm 41. Yeah, I'm not that. See, I'm not the average veteran. Most veterans are covered, have tattoos all over them. Like, I never got one. Like most of the guys, as soon as we left basic, like they were getting tattoos writing AIT, and then when they got to their permanent duty station, and I never did because I just never knew what I wanted to. So since I never knew what I wanted to get, I just never got anything. Miss Nia says until you run out of body space or money. Probably run out of money before you run out of body space because you can just keep making space on the body for tattoos because you can just like draw over previous stuff. Like look at and when I know this is fictional, but like if you look at the one of the minor Batman villains, Mr. Zaz, he has like tattoos all over the body of all the numbers of people he killed. He just keeps the little tick marks. Mrs. Contrarian is back. Um, Miss Nita says, I've seen people tattoo their eyeballs. That's super dangerous. Yeah, that's a specific thing that they do, and it's disgusting. I saw that on Nat Geo a long time ago. They used to have a series called Taboo, and they showed that. Mrs. Contrarian says, I almost had my first tattoo from Wayne God last month. Except spoiler alert, I told her don't get it because I didn't want her to get a tattoo. The funny thing, she didn't even really want one at first, and I was actually telling her, "Oh, you should get one." And then I thought about, it, I was like, "Actually, nah, I don't want her to get one." Then she was like, "Oh, I do want a tattoo." So that's weird. Have I ever went to an escape room? No, but I, I'm trying to remember if one of my friends did that for. I think one of my friends did that, and I was like, "Oh, I should try that." I would like to try it. Um, Because one of my friends, he tried to do it, and he was really out of shape. So one of my other friends was roasting him, like, it's like you and your heart disease and diabetes ain't jumping over this such and such. It's funny, but yeah, I would like to do one of those escape room things. Do they have that in the Philippines, Mahal? Like escape rooms? Moonlit Fern says Ellie got a fern on her ring finger when I got a moon on mine. Messenger says escape rooms. Who needs that? This whole life is a huge escape room. Yeah, but sometimes just to test your survival skills, people might want to do that. Oh, for real? There's one in Manila. Oh man, we got. You want to try it? Like, if you want to try it, we can do it. Um, there should be one where you have to fight people. That would be good. um, I wonder. I'm sure there's something like that where like it's like an escape room or something like that, but you actually have to like fight people to get through different obstacles. That might be cool. Miss Nita says, "Isn't it usually for groups?" I think so. I don't think it has to be like a group, but it might be like maybe like two or three people. But or if it is for groups, I don't think the groups have to know each other. Like it just has to be a group of people. I don't think the group has to be a group that knows each other. I don't think. He said sometimes they have like employees in closets or doors scaring you. That might not. Eh, that might not go too well because I'm gonna throw an elbow. Miss Contrarian says I do. I remember my friends and I planned on trying it out, but we just never did it. For real? So which friends? Your work friends or like your Swifty buddies? Moonlit Fern says I just like puzzle solving under pressure. Yes, you too should do it. Like live stream it. You can pay for solo or duo. Will they let you live stream though? I guess because well, she does have a what do you call those the little video cam things? She has one of those. I bought her, and I guess we could use that and live stream it. And I'm thinking, I don't know, I don't know too many skate rooms, but don't most of them look like something from Saw? Oh, your work friends, okay. Yeah, the GoPro. Yeah, I think the GoPro would be like something you would use to like live stream at an event like that. Yeah, but I think don't some of them make the escape rooms look like basically like the room from Saw? I'm wondering if that's actually where the escape room started from, like the whole Saw movie franchise. Oh, only friends know they are a thing, but each is different. Okay. Yeah, I definitely want to try. Yeah. Don't threaten me with a good time. I definitely want to try that out. I want to do that. I want to do some obstacle courses. There's one here locally in Maryland. It's either in Maryland or Pennsylvania or Virginia, one of those places. And I saw my friends doing it. I was like, man, I want to do that. So I'm gonna see if I can get in touch with them so I can do one of those obstacle courses with them. Mr. Needle says, Moonlit, what if you got to use the bathroom and are stuck in a room there? Hmm. I don't know. Is there a safe word? Is there a safe word that you get to use when you're like done with everything? But I'm pretty sure within the game setup they allow you to just quit if you want. I guess. I mean, you pay for it. So, only friends just they do have scary rooms, and the next room is like solve this puzzle now, and others are run, run, run. So that's the only thing that would suck is like, what if I like, what if I just lose just because I couldn't solve a puzzle as opposed to not just having, other than just the lack of stamina? Because I'm pretty sure I had the stamina, but it's the puzzle solving. That's why I would definitely need to do it with other people because I would rely on them to probably solve the puzzles. Muley Furnace just says yes, you can leave at any time. Because I mean, yeah, if the cult, I mean, if nature calls, then I mean, they can't really fault you on that. But yeah, I want one where it's like quasi Fight Club sort of thing. Like it's like escape room meets Fight Club. Um, meets I don't know the Dog Brothers, and the Dog Brothers was a group out of California that did like Filipino martial arts, but they did it with like it was unfiltered. Like they did hard sparring with the sticks and end up like frequently injuring each other, but it taught them how to realistically use like the Filipino weapon skills, and it also showed how a lot of those drills don't actually work. But I think the Dog Brothers are still around. But yeah, something like the Dog Brothers, Fight Club, and Escape Room all mixed into one. That might be good. Emily Fern says, "Oh, that's an idea. Fight Club theme escape rooms. Copyright that now. That's a franchise." I'm actually surprised they don't actually exist. So you're saying they don't we don't there aren't any right now? Because if so, yeah, I would definitely try to put that together. Because I assume there are some like that already. Like for instance, the thing that Andrew Tate runs. I'm not sure if that counts, but he's his little group is sort of like very cult like, and definitely it's definitely a Fight Club vibe with what he does with his little organization in Romania. Miss Nita says escape room CEOs watching. Write that down. Write that down. Man, I'd be so mad. Well, I doubt they're in my live stream, but it might filter down to them. So I have actually had things that've gone on to become very viral. So for instance, have any of you heard the term rice bunny? I invented that term. People won't believe me, but when people say no, you didn't, I'll be like, all right, tell me any place that term existed prior to 2011, because that's when I invented that term. Like I was literally working as a library clerk at that time, and I said, what would be a good term to name cute Asian girls? Just the way like black guys talk about white women, they call them snow bunnies. So I was like, rice bunnies, and everyone was like, yeah, that kind of works. And I was literally saying to them back then, and this is now what uh, 13 years ago. I was like, man, I hope this go. I said, I wonder if this term will ever go viral one day. And they was like, you never know, it might. Now everyone uses the term, but I definitely have got to copyright it, which I should have done like five. I should have done that back in like 2014 when I found out that everyone was using the term. Melissa Fern says, "I promise you, that's a banging idea." Yeah, that's why I assume they already exist. Melissa Fern says, "Oh, Rice Bunny, can't wait to tell Ellie." Yeah, I'm surprised you haven't heard it. Another good thing was, so this is when I was like, this is when I found out I really need to I really need to copyright that term. Was so when China was having their protests, I think in like Hong Kong and stuff like that, there was Chinese women were going through a similar Me Too movement over there, but they had picked a term which um, uh, is is pronounced like rice bunny, but there it means me too over there. And I was like, damn, they're actually using the term rice bunny to disguise what they're saying as the Me Too movement for them over there. I was like, okay, I need to copyright this term. But yeah, guys, please subscribe. So yeah, I will shop that idea around because, like I said, I didn't know that that wasn't already a thing. So I do know some people in the financial services industry. Maybe they can get me connected to someone who knows someone who knows someone. I'll get on that this week, actually. That's a good thing with working with someone who's part of one of the biggest mortgage banks in the world. Um, I can shop some ideas around. But I'm gonna go, guys. I said I was gonna do this for 15 more minutes, and this lasted way longer. Um, Moonlit Friend says, "Yeah, I think China is doing a big Me Too movement still, and yeah, the yes, do that escape room idea. I'll back it too. Thanks. Like I said, I'm a fish around a little bit about that just to make sure that doesn't already exist, and then if it doesn't, like I said, I'm a lucky one of my friends, whom I work for right now, is connected to a lot of people, so they he may be able to get me started. So it's all about networking, right? um, yeah, but I'm about to go soon, guys. So this was a fun chat. It wasn't. We kind of went astray from the talk about what type of hotels people stay in when they travel, but that's fine. As long as we kept it lighthearted, I just wanted to keep it away from politics for the day. But I will shop those ideas around. And like I said, I don't even, it doesn't even have to be under me. I don't mind selling the idea to someone else and they doing it as long as I'm compensated for it. If you see if you see it happen in the next few years, just know that whoever that person is that did it bought the idea from me. But yeah, I'm like I said, I think it would be a banging idea. I mean, because think about it. You already have guys now who are paying for fake boot camp. We went to boot camp for free, Moonlit Firm, but you got these guys now who are paying for a boot camp experience. We got paid to go to boot camp. They're paying to do it. So if people will pay for a fake boot camp experience, then I'm pretty sure they would pay for like a Fight Club type experience as well. Like I said, Andrew Tate is already doing that in his little cult like organization. So the only difference is it's not he's not doing it as a sort of for entertainment. He's doing it under the guise of making these turning these men into Ubermensch or whatever. So I'm only referring to especially in Asia. Have you ever seen Alice in Borderland? Yeah, I did. I like Alice in Borderland. I'm still waiting for the third season now. Oh, I hope they're gonna make a third season. Yeah, Alice in Borderland is dope. I definitely watched that. Emily Furnace says, "Why pay for boot camp? No thanks." But you haven't seen those though. They have like these places where they do like these fake boot camps for like grown men who are looking to just be more manly or whatever. So they're gonna pay someone to make them to yell at them and make them do exercises. I'm like, yeah, this is stupid. I get why they're doing it, but if you really got like if you really feel that call, that militaristic call, just do the real thing. Just like say, hey, sign me up for 2 years of National Guard or something like that. They can just enlist for 2 years in the National Guard and they'll get that experience. Get paid for it instead of having to pay for it. Moonlit Fern says people have fetishes, I guess. Yeah, absolutely. The Dog Brothers, that's a fetish. Like I said, a bunch of people who want to take Filipino martial arts to the extreme by actually having live sparring with sticks and blades. That's a little extreme. Um, but yeah, I can see them making a more extreme version of an escape room too. Yeah, check out Dog Brothers. Like one of the Jikundo instructors was a member of the Dog Brothers. What's his name? Sifu. I was about to say Richard Bastillo, but no, it wasn't Richard Bastillo. He passed away a few years ago. It was I can't remember his name. Forex is hi, just a contrarian. What's up? But all right, guys, I'm gonna get ready to go, and I think Mrs. Contrarian needs to get back to her work too. But um, Moonlit Fern says, imagine they can implement virtual reality with the escape room idea. I don't want to brainstorm and give away ideas. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Basically, we start getting closer to some of these things we saw back in '80s action flicks, and was like, oh, this will never happen. Like Total Recall, like start having real actual Total Recalls happening because that's what that would be like a glorified version of like it would be like a scaled down version of Total Recall basically. Or what was the other one? The Running Man. Both with Schwarzenegger. Both these like this future dystopias. So Miss Nita says already in museum experiences available. But like I said, some people, because they live such sheltered lives, they're gonna crave these sorts of things where they can actually live dangerously. It's just like look at us now. Like people 300 years ago wouldn't have gone camping because for them a lot of their life was roughing it in the wilderness. But now we live such sheltered lives, we actually go back to the wilderness to capture something that we lost through camping and hiking and stuff like that. And now some of us live these cloistered lives where we will never deal with having to fight off people. So we seek the adventure of going the masculinity of going to an MMA gym and sitting there and wrestling and boxing people, stuff like that. So Moonlight, for instance, is exactly the reason I love Alice in Borderland. But yeah, so guys, I'm about to check out because it's getting late. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna look into some of those ideas definitely. Like I said, I'm gonna shop around the escape room slash Fight Club idea, and what was the other thing? It'll come back to me, or Mrs. Contrarian will remind me. Moonlit Fern says, "I want that thrill." Miss Anita says, "Depend what kind of person you are and what kind of experiences you seek out. Some like comfort, others adrenaline and thrill." That's true, but like I said, even a lot. So a lot of people who live very cloistered lives, they may not necessarily be adrenaline junkies, but sometimes you just need to get out of that shell sometimes. Moonlit Furnace is here. Cheers, rest up, homie, and brainstorm on it. Yep, yep, definitely will. That's why I need some rest. But all right, guys, thanks for another chat. There, of course, will be another topic tomorrow. So until then, if I missed anything, or if you guys still have any further thoughts, you can just leave it in the comment section when I upload the video. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Please check out the videos of Mrs. Contrarian going out with her nonprofit travel group um, as they go on a hike and then end up using their own money to buy school supplies for these kids out in the countryside. Forex Gump says, "I'm learning the English language. I just flip through channels watching people talk about anything." That may not be the best way to learn the English language, but if it works for you. But yeah, good night, everybody, and or good day to the folks if it's daytime for you. If you're on the other side of the world, but I'll but like I said, if I miss anything, just leave it in the comment section. All right, on whatever thoughts, concerns, comments. If you have some ideas on the hotel idea, like whether you have a good argument for why people should stay in expensive hotels instead of cheap hotels, I like to hear it. Forrest Scum says I'm from Colombia. All right, Forrest. Well, I'm sorry. I'm actually about to leave, but once I upload this video, you can watch it from the beginning if you like. All right, but I appreciate you, chiming in the chat room. All right, guys. Thank you. Have a good one. And Miss Contrarian says good night to everybody. Bye, guys.